Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal, Mr. Butter, coming back at you. I'm recording this video on the day that the Toro Bravo, or the Raging Bull 6s, Varsity Red 6s, whatever you want to call them, they just dropped today. I picked up my pair from Finish Line. I want to get into them with y'all. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these Toro Bravo 6s. Hope the lighting's alright. I had to work over this evening, so I'm actually running out of daylight, but I'm doing this in the other direction because the sun is now setting instead of coming up. But anyhow, to the shoes. Once again, the Jordan brand gave us a color coordinated box. It kind of matches the kicks. It's got this red lid. It is the flip style lid. It doesn't lift all the way off of it. It's got kind of an oversized Jumpman on there. And I like having a box that matches the shoes. I always appreciate that. I hope they keep on doing that because it seems like we've been getting that a lot lately. The tag reads Air Jordan 6 Retro. The colors are Varsity Red and Black. This is a men's size 10.5. I'm really surprised that there wasn't any half sizes on the sneakers app today. I'm not sure what the reasoning for that was. I ended up reserving these at my local Finish Line, and I went and picked them up today, but the retail price was $200. I had status rewards for $20 off. All in, I was right at 190 bucks, so that's not too bad. I always like being able to use status rewards, so if I can get a shoe from Finish Line as opposed to getting it on sneakers, I'll always go the Finish Line route, just because I can pretty much always get a nice little chunk of money off of it. And here they are, the Toro Bravo 6s, or the Varsity Red 6s, Raging Bull 6s, whatever you want to call it. I've actually been looking forward to these a good bit. I really like the 6s. It reminds me of like the Dream Team era and that kind of time period. These came out in the early 90s when I was a kid and when Jordan was pretty much at the height of his career. They really give me that nostalgic feeling that I love, and it's just such a unique design. With the 6 and 7s, they're just very unique, you know, even though they both kind of have the same shape a little bit. There's just nothing else like them, and for nostalgia reasons and that sort of thing, I'm just a big fan of this silhouette. The Raging Bull colorway is very cool in my opinion. I didn't keep the Raging Bull 5s that came out. I thought they looked a little bit like washed out, but this color is definitely more vibrant than that. It really pops a lot more than that. I don't mind this material, but it doesn't really seem like it's a high-end material at all. And there are some things that I'm kind of disappointed with in this shoe, but we'll get to that as we talk about it. As far as the color scheme goes, if there's a black and red Jordan Retro, then it's got my attention. And I really like the colorway. I like that it's just red and black, and like I said, this color is really, really vibrant. It really pops, and I feel like it goes really well with the black, especially the black that we have on the tongue. I just think that black on the tongue for the little shield area, and then the black lace lock, along with this kind of rubberized area that we get on the top of the tongue, I think this black looks great just going down the center of this red. I really think they're designed pretty cool. It does look like a shoe that could have been around since the 90s, but I don't think the Raging Bull pack came out until the 2000s. I think it was getting close to 2010 when that first came out, but of course that was on the 5. However, they're calling these the Toro Bravo or Raging Bull 6s or whatever, just because the whole upper is primarily suede in a red color, just like the Raging Bull 5s were. But getting into the outsole, we have these translucent kind of icy blue areas, and I've always liked the design of the outsole on the 6s. I like all these angles and everything that you see. We have all these little circles cut out for the traction, but I like how on the perimeter we have these icy blue translucent areas, and then you can see them kind of wrapping up onto the midsole as well. But down the center, we've got primarily black, and then at the midfoot we've got a red Jumpman, and then we've got more black here at the heel of the outsole. But overall, I think it's a dope looking outsole. I always like the outsole with 6s, but I think in this simple black and red colorway and then just some icy blue hits, I think it looks dope. Then as we come up to the midsole, like I said, you can see this icy blue translucent rubber kind of coming up to the midsole area, and this icy blue material surrounds that visible air unit. Just outside of that icy blue material, we've got some areas of red painted foam, and here we're going to start to see what my issues are. This pair just didn't come out very clean at all, and this red paint, I think it would have looked really nice. It's glossy, but it's like they either were touching it when it was still wet, or else they got glue all over it or something. And I don't know how much it's coming across on camera, but it really doesn't look good in person. And I don't think that all pairs are like this. I actually saw a review earlier today and the pair looked perfect, but this pair, and I'm not even super nitpicky, but this pair is really sloppy, and I'm pretty bummed about that. But anyhow, we've got this glossy red paint going around the visible air unit, and then we have more red accents up here towards the front, and that looks okay. We also have areas of black painted foam, and it's not that the paint is getting on areas that it shouldn't be, it's just that it doesn't look like it was dry before people started touching it, or else it looks like it got glue on it. But I'm really kind of bummed that they turned out as sloppy as what they did. Then on areas like this, I don't know if that comes through, but it looks like there's glue all over the front of this rubber that wraps up from the outsole. And there's also just areas of glue all over the upper, and I don't know, I wish they would have been more careful with it. Another part that I think looks sloppy, at least on my pair, is right where the midsole meets the upper of the shoe. You can see the glue. It just looks like they used too much and then tried to wipe it off or something, but it just doesn't look like it was done too well. Sometimes you'll see areas on shoes that look pretty sloppy on like GS pairs, and that's what this reminds me of. To me, it just looks like somebody was rushed and they made a whole bunch of mistakes, and now I got a sloppy pair of shoes. But for the price of $200 suggested retail, in my opinion, that shouldn't really happen. The material on the upper isn't really anything special. That really doesn't matter to me. I like this color of it, but it definitely shows flaws, and it definitely shows where there's glue and that sort of thing. So I don't know, I just wish they would have come out better. I think if the QC on this pair would have been better, then I would like them a whole lot more. But with the way they sit right now, I don't even know if I'm going to keep them, if I'm being honest. And I was showing you the right shoe, but here's the left shoe as well, and hopefully it comes across on camera, but like areas like here where the midsole meets the upper, and really the whole way around the shoe, it just looks kind of sloppy. And the sun is going down, so it might be kind of hard to see, but there's areas on the upper that look like they definitely had glue or dirt on their hands or something whenever they were putting these shoes away. There's just a lot of like dark spots, and they're just all really kind of like boogered up. So I hate to see that on a pair of kicks that cost $200. I just don't think you should be seeing all this kind of stuff. Continuing on to the upper of the shoe, I don't mind this suede at all. It's not a long hair at all, it's pretty short hair. It feels pretty rough, and that might just be a result of the dye. I do really like how vibrant the color is. I think they did a good job on that. It seems like the stitching on all these panels matches pretty well, and you have perforations going up the side of the shoe, and then you have those classic like heel pods, whatever you want to call them. I think those are basically built in to be cushions there around your ankle, but it's just a classic feature of the 6. But basically the only material on this whole upper is just this red suede, and I really do like the color of it. We got matching laces. They're a flat red pair of laces, and it matches that red suede on the upper. For our tongue, it's a standard Jordan 6 tongue. It's in a black color, kind of has like a neoprene feel, and perforations at the base of it. And then of course we have this shield, which is black in color, and it has a red Jumpman on there. And then at the top we have our little lace lock in black with a red Jumpman, and I love the way that looks. I think that's a really dope looking lace lock. And then the shield and the tongue, I think that might be my favorite kind of area of the shoe. I just think the black going up the middle looks really, really clean to me. The top of the tongue is black, and it's got this Air Jordan verbiage, and then the 2 cutouts. Of course, up here on the heel, we have this spoiler, and I think that was inspired by a Porsche or something like that way back when, but it's black and it's got a red stripe going across it. I think that's dope looking. I really like how the Jumpman blends in so much. I love that. I like how it's kind of low-key and not, you know, jumping out at you. I feel like there's enough Jumpman or Jumpmen on the shoe already. You don't have to be a walking billboard, so I really like that this red matches so well, and it doesn't like scream at you or anything. The sock liner is black, as is the insole, and the insole has a red Jumpman down on there. But that was a pretty quick look at these Toro Bravo Jordan 6s. I like the color scheme. I like the 6s. I just wish this wouldn't have been so sloppy, so I'm not really sure if I'll be keeping these in the collection or not. Let me know if you grabbed these, and if you did, let me know how the QC was on them. I don't think every pair was this sloppy. I just think that maybe I was unlucky with this one. But if you're familiar with getting Jordans, then you're definitely used to it. Unfortunately, even though you're dropping a bunch of money, it can kind of be a gamble as to whether you're getting a good pair or not. This pair just doesn't look very clean to me, and I'd prefer my J's to look nice and fresh. But anyhow, I appreciate y'all watching so much, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.